Hey guys, ID here. Welcome to the 25th episode of Design Journal. In this episode, I'm going to design a logo for a sushi bar. So this is the 18th design brief that was sent in to me by 30logos.com, and as you can see on your screen, it's from Kyle Dawson, who basically owns a sushi bar in Los Angeles. And what is name of the shop is Sakura. Sakura basically is the cherry blossom tree, which you have I think seen in a lot of Japanese movies and animated series, where it's like they have pink flowers in the spring season. Their petals are is flowing away. So it's kind of an iconic thing, basically related to I think Japanese culture. So what he want is he actually wanted to like include it in some form in the logo. And also he's definitely open to any kind of sushi iconography, etc., but he wants the text Sakura as well. So pretty open brief in that regard, and I like these kind of briefs because he's offering a solution, and also he's open for my ideas. Okay, so like the last brief was for fast. It was like super tight. These are your constraints that you have to work in it. So this is quite nice, and these are the kind of briefs that I like to work with. Okay, so moving forward, what I did was I started with the sketching process, and as you can see, the sketching was basically I was trying to make it like the flower or the petals or sushi. Okay, so then I stumbled across this idea, which is basically a sushi at the bottom. And okay, I know it's not a good drawing, but you know it's a sushi at the bottom, and then there's these blossom leaves. So, and then I also like this pattern. And so I also made this one then, and I think this looks okay to me. This looks good. So I wanted to take it to Illustrator and see what the possibilities are. I also did the these hand lettering things. They look good on paper, but when I come to Illustrator, I just don't know how to do it really well. So basically, I dropped this idea, but we're gonna see what I did. Okay, so let's move on to the process. So I started with making the sushi first, and as you can see, this looks like a 3D skeleton of a cylinder. Yeah, it's a cylinder shape. Okay, but basically what it is like circles. And if I go here, you can see the dimension is 135 cross 45. This is 90 cross 30, and then this is the same size, 135 and 45, and yeah, so these are basically two lines then. So it's a pretty simple shape. So I wanted to make it something like a sushi. Um, Obviously, we don't have sushi here in India, or yeah, I have never have it had it. Okay, so yeah, this is the second step, and the third step, I basically increase this, and this is the final one. I reduce the size of the upper circle just to give it a much, I think, nicer shape. So this is it. This is our sushi. The next step was to include that the pattern of the petals on the top. So that's what I did. So I was trying to make these petals, and super easy to make one of those. I'm going to show you how to make it. So the first thing is you need to make a square. So hold shift to make it. So basically select the rectangle tool by selecting M on your keyboard and hold shift to make it. So once you have it, you've got to rotate it 45 degrees. So you select it, hit shift, and as you can see, when you move your cursor around it, it's going to turn into the rotation icon. Okay, then you rotate it by 45 degrees. Okay, you choose the anchor point direct selection tool, which is A on the keyboard, and then you select these two anchor points, and then you see these circles, which are basically to round the corners. You just have to pull them all the way in, and that's your leaf. Pretty cool, right? Super easy way to make it. Earlier I used to make them like these, like one circle and then two circle, second circle, sorry, and then I'll what the hell, sorry. Yeah, so this was basically my process. But yeah, I learned it pretty recently. So yeah, so then once I made this, I wanted to give it a more space, because the icon currently, if you see the dimensions, they are pretty short height basically. So I wanted to give it some height, so it's more of a square. This one's also not a perfect square, but it looks like it. Okay, so it's kind of close to that. So then for the type, I use the font. It's called Grand Hotel. I think it's from Google Fonts. So basically, it's a free font, and I like the aesthetic because I wanted to go for a script font with this one. Because yeah, I mean, this is basically a very, I think, cultural and personal, basically. So I wanted to, emphasize on that. So Sakura, basically, I've written in a script font called Grand Hotel. So then I also worked on some patterns. So these were basically the basics of them. So I'm going to show you the patterns in the later on the video. So then I worked on some lockups. So this was the basic icon. Then I added the colors to it, and this pink kind of really worked well because it's also the color for the blossom. I think yeah, pink on the blossom is a little different, but I also wanted to, match it to, the color of flesh basically. When you have like fish in the sushi, so the color of that. So this color I think matches really well. Then I also added a sakura leaf or blossom petal. I don't know what to say, but I'm gonna shade that on here just to give it more character. And yeah, so these are the lockups. I added the word sushi, and the font I used was Montserrat because I think it would bring a good amount of contrast. Okay, so I didn't want to make it another script font, so that's why it's a sans serif type. So yeah, let's move on to the artboards now. So the first artboard is, as always, a black and white logo. And the second one, now you can start to see the patterns that I was talking about. And I think the motive of this pattern was to, be celebrative, because, yeah, they're celebrating their culture. So cultural again. And blossoms, why not? Because the name of this, sushi bar is Sakura. So these should be everywhere, okay? And so this is the logo lockup, and I also did a mockup for a plate, just because I wanted to showcase the branding a little bit. This is the only one I did this time, and as you can see, I just added this logo and a pink sort of outline to it, to the plate, and yeah, that's it. So yeah, these are the patterns, and now you can see them in detail. And what a pattern basically does is allows your branding to be minimal and what can you say, ubiquitous, scalable, whatever. So basically, you can put it anywhere. So this is the pattern that I did for them, and yeah, that's it for the video, I guess. So this is the final logo design. I've already shown you the mock-up and the patterns, and yeah, I'm now waiting for your feedback. So let me know what you think about the design and the videos in general. Please feel free to reach out to me on my social media. I'm really active on them and would love to have a conversation with you guys. And yeah, stay tuned because more stuff is coming really soon. Okay, bye.